Welcome back. I was meant to get onto videos over the entirety of May. That hasn't happened. It's been quite hectic. Actually, not with me, I just needed some downtime. But as far as getting hold of some free time when I can use the house and stuff, my wife, she's been struggling with her work. I was struggling with my work for a couple of months leading up to it, and I just needed a break from everything. So I've had that now. This evening I'm due to visit the open evening for the degree show for both my course, my wife's course, and all the other courses under the School of Art and School of Media at University of Brighton. I could talk quite happily about the course, how it's gone for me, such and such like that, and I'm sure I will do at some point. But mostly what I want to talk about is the video I uploaded most recently. It is the piece that I did as my final degree project. Yeah, I'd like to talk about it. So, if you've seen it, there's a little film art piece there called Erosion. And another video that I did last year was called Didikai. Both of these I was kind of trying to put across something in a very much documentary style fashion. My experience growing up as a Romany gypsy, which I'm not very well, I haven't got the charisma. I've got blonde hair, I've got blue eyes, and so, I can see why some people might think, well, is that really the case? Yeah, it is. I'm actually from a Welsh Romany family, the Prices originally, before I changed my surname, and there's a lot of experience to talk about there. For the first 10 years of my life, I would say, maybe the first 12 years of my life, had you asked me what is my race or nationality, my answer back then would have been to say I'm a gypsy. That's how I would describe myself. I'm a gypsy kid. And then over time, sort of between the beginning of secondary school and me turning about 20 or so, sort of between 12 and 20, that would have turned down quite a lot. But the experiences are still there. I'm the oldest of 9 children, and as such, born in the late 80s, I'm the youngest person in my family to remember vaguely what life on the road was kind of like. It was something that wasn't really practiced in my family much after the 70s, but even then, people like my father, my dad, very, very nostalgic. And so my dad carried it on for as often as he could in either the summers, or he would work on circuses, and actually a lot of my childhood starts out on circuses. So my parents met on the Moscow estate, and I grew up a little bit on the Chinese estate, and that's another story for another time. Yes, Romany people in England is it's a very hard one to pin down. We've definitely been analysed enough in media, in TV, but there's so much more that doesn't get said. So, and I'm quite happy to talk about this at length, but it's a question of like, what do people want to know? I'm happy to talk about it. Same goes for my dad, for example, and it's him who's the primary voice that you hear in both those two aforementioned films. I myself consider myself to be reasonably educated. I'm really a black sheep of the family. I'm very different from my brothers and sisters, for example. I'm the educated one. I'm the one who tries to be well spoken. I'm the one who tries to bother with things like university and stuff, and it just doesn't happen much in my family. That said, we're not quite like, we're not all like the Dale farm types. We're not all Eastern Europeans. Most of us tend to just have gorgified ourselves over the years. So, yeah, I mean, there's an interesting upbringing there. I remember camping out in in and around Guildford and Leatherhead and stuff in the south. My dad would say the same thing for Nantwich and Cheshire. I guess the point of all this that I'm trying to say is, ask me anything about this and I will happily give you my verdict. I tend to be a bit more educated. I'm aware much more than a lot of other Romany people about the origins of the Romany people, the Romany language, the etymology of words, why certain practices have been picked up, why certain practices have been put down. I've always been quite interested in the history ever since I was about 15, 16, I would say. That's the other thing I would like to mention. As far as I'm concerned, you asked me the question now, what nationality or race am I? My opinions on the referendum aside, I'd have to say, well, I'm from the UK and I guess I'm English. But whenever Romany is mentioned or Gypsy is mentioned or something along these lines, there is a little part of me, even now, that just feels connected, feels like some kind of pull is happening there. Now I'm the one that's being talked about when Gypsies are being talked about. It sounds really bizarre to myself. It sounds bizarre, but I guess that's just part of, like, a small part of my identity that's never really gone away. I won't probably talk about this in all my videos. Chances are it's such a small part of my personality that I will talk about this 2 more times unless it's brought up, unless something happens, unless it makes its way back into the news in a massive way like it did with Dale Farm again. I probably won't talk about it, but definitely happy to be asked about it at any point. Starting from around about the 12th of June, I'm looking to upload a lot more often. Well, I'll certainly be looking to record around then. Whether or not I upload around the 12th is actually another thing. This probably won't get uploaded until the 12th. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, from about the 12th of June I'll be recording a lot more. Uploading shouldn't be a problem then. I've got no problem with editing and stuff, but I'm quite shy when it comes to the recording. Literally the first month or so I'll probably be talking about any old subject, and then after that I'm just going to roll with the punches. I'm happy to be asked anything in the comments, and I might even try and answer those things in video form. It will give me another little project to do. But in the meantime, see ya.